Hello, 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 and we are back. Oh my God. Sorry, I was trying to eat real quick. For those of you who were here with me an hour ago, well, a few minutes ago, you had, I haven't eaten. But welcome to Shit Happens, and another one, and another one. Oh my God. Y'all wish me luck because this guest right here, y'all need to send all your prayers, dance to your gods, and just hope that I make it because I'm sober, y'all. So I don't know. I'm gonna need to go drink after this conversation. Allow me to introduce to you the one and only Mr. He's a talk shit with P fan, you know. I met him at Alphas and Alges, and he was such a fan that he just wants to follow me everywhere and just be around me. Hey Raph, welcome to Shit Happens.
Oh, you talking to me? Oh,
Uh, Wait, what jersey are you wearing? Why does that look like a younger jersey?
I wanted to wear one that you might recognize easily, but I couldn't find it, so I wore the Bafana Bafana one instead.
Don't tell me you have a Taifa Stars jersey.
I do have a Taifa Stars jersey uh,
How do you have a Taifa Stars jersey?
because I have many jerseys.
I don't even have a Taifa Stars jersey.
So are you sure you're from where you told me you're from?
I have younger because I'm team younger. I don't
I'm
care
Team
about Taifa
Younger too.
Stars.
That's my team, Younger.
Oh, not Simba.
I like Simba too. Their fans they entertain me online. You know.
Yeah, Simba fans are like annoying as fuck.
Hey, I respect them, but if they want to join my Patreon, I welcome them too, So
How you doing, Ralph?
I'm good. I'm good. Well, thank you for having me here. I'm Raphael Harry. For those who don't know me, uh,
You,
most
you
people,
black you blackmail me into having you here, so I don't know why you're thanking me.
well, all I know is I was invited, but if that's the unofficial way we are going with, we'll see. Well, that looks like my mug. I don't know how you got it, but I don't even have one. But
I went to your warehouse and stole it.
I was made aware. I saw the CCTV, but they couldn't tell if it was. They were
A
thinking
boy
it
or
was
a
a kid.
girl.
They were like, "Should we report?" I was like, I don't like sending kids to. I believe in second chances. I'm not a Christian or Muslim, but I believe in second chances. So I don't.
So wait,
Now I just found out as an adult, so we might
you
have to
don't
change my
do,
mind.
so wait, you don't do religion.
Nine. I do, but I accept payments.
Impressive for a Nigerian who doesn't do religion. This is
I grew
interesting.
up in the church, so I've seen all the secrets. I know all the secrets. There's family members who part of why they don't talk to me today is because of religion. So yeah,
I figure
I
because
disappointed
Nigerians.
somebody.
Did you ever read that book about the Catholics? This guy went and exposed the entire Catholic. Even had an interview with the Pope and everything. I forgot the name of that book. I
I
didn't finish reading
did
it. I
not
read half
read
of
it,
it.
but I grew up. I was first Catholic. I did my first baptism. I just didn't do confirmation, but then from Catholic Church, I moved to what is called evangelical here. We call it Pentecostal. In Nigeria. It was very hardcore. We even did prayers and fasting for George W. to become president. I still remember doing that. So yeah, so that the homosexuals do not have power in America. Yeah, we went hardcore and all that kind of nonsense. And
Wait,
I've
was
been
this
to
in
every
Nigeria?
yeah. The church is very big right now. We are probably in your part of Africa too, but yeah, we don't say we were sick. We say we are well. You are well. It is well. That's how we greet each other. We don't say um, you don't. We that's an expression of faith. There was one time I had pains in my neck and I was told I didn't have faith. That's why I was feeling pains in my neck. So you have to drink anointing oil. Until I came to America, I discovered that the anointing oil I had been drinking was olive oil, and I was like, God dang it! people cook with this. Like, man, this company making a lot of money in Nigeria. They've been wondering why Nigerians were buying that oil all the time. And then I discovered, I saw the factory in New Jersey. I was like, man, this company, man, I didn't know. Now I can't stop cooking with olive oil. But yeah, there's a whole lot of stories. Like, if you met that person back then, I would have casted you out. Like, bind you in the name of Jesus, bind you. Gotta cast him, bind you. But
I mean, you kind of did cast me at Afro. It's just a different kind of casting, but it's still.
yeah, I was very close to the manosphere back then. But that's why I accept payments now. If you pay me properly, I can even bring that person out for you.
Okay, we need to shut that because I've realized when me and Raphael talk, we can go. When I went on his podcast, we ended up talking for almost 3 hours, and we're trying to keep this to less than 1 hour. So maybe get on it because when two podcasters meet and then it's two African podcasters, it just gets real.
And I made such an impact on you that you even copied my hairstyle. That's why I had to cover it today, so that
You see, I at least have hair. Let's see yours, because copying you would mean copying you. Some of you,
I saw the photos. So it's all right.
Some of you hair don't grow, you know. So
but there's hair here. There's still hair.
Okay, let's not start saying which parts there's hair right now. So. So I really actually want to talk to you about your podcast and your journey with your podcast, because first of all, I'm very curious how the fuck you came up with that name, like White Label America. Like, what were you thinking until you're like, White Label America, that's my podcast, that's the name. Like, how did that come about?
Shout out to my boy Scott, fellow Navy veteran, and I was in a different space back then. I'd been robbed by a fellow Nigerian who had stolen all the equipment for a previous podcast that we were supposed to do. I was, I'd embraced mental health.
It's your own people.
Yeah, it's always your own people, So it's Black History Month, so part of Black History includes some negative stuff too. Yeah. So I was contemplating quitting podcasting because I didn't really have the full information before going into podcasting, but it wasn't too long after I'd started going through mental health, embrace the mental health treatment, and part of my treatment was coming out of I'd withdrawn from society, I'd withdrawn from people. I was talking a lot on social media, but in real life, I wasn't out there. And
yeah, because you like shouting on Facebook to people. So
yeah, I wasn't. You didn't know me then. That was different. But I'd come across this dude, and he had said, "Dude, you're not like other Nigerians that." I've met you have your political views, your social views, you have great commentary. We should do a podcast. And I was like, I heard that word before. I don't know. It sounds familiar. I didn't forgotten that I did a podcast with somebody around 2010, and I didn't like my voice. I was afraid, inferiority complex, a whole bunch of things. So I never listened to it and completely forgot about it. And now this guy brings it up. I'm in a botch, confident space, mentally. And I was all right. What do you need? And I just trusted him, and he gave me a list, and I bought everything on the list, and he stole everything. So we end up in court and all that. He still hasn't paid me to this day, but I won in court. But after that experience, I'm like, I don't want to do this podcasting thing anymore. It seems like drama, too much headache. But a few friends who listened to the stuff we did said, I have something going for me. People like coming to me, telling me their stories. It's a natural thing I have. Do your own thing. Yeah, I always get stories out of people. I got your story too, So, yeah.
Where is it? You got my story. Where the fuck is my story?
Yeah, you're still on that. Come on. We're not doing that again. My external hard drive got broken. So. Don't make me go over the heartbreak of how much I spent on that. So, um, my boy Scotty was the one who said, after I decided, okay, I'm going to do my own podcast. Okay, I will embrace what this a skill that I've never really embraced. Now it comes to what will I call it? What's the title going to be? And my boy Scotty was like, White Label American. And I'm like, are you crazy? Well, what kind of title is that? Can't come up with something else. And he's like, no, 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 you need that title because it's, first of all, it's catchy. It makes people pause. People are going to stop. I'm like, what? Wait, I have to check it out. What's this? And I did, I didn't realize what I was doing then, but I kind of did a market survey without thinking about it. And I asked about 20 to 30 people, will you listen to a show or podcast if this was the title? And out of all the people I asked, only one person was like, why do you hate white people? And I looked at it and I was like,
there's always gonna be that one person. There's always gonna be that one.
But I did know, I know the person. He's also a veteran, and he's kind of a Clarence Thomas type of person. And I was like, yeah, if this is the person if this is the type of person that gives me that feedback, I'm good. I think this is a good sign. So I kept it because it was my own take on who's American. It's from my own point of view, but it's my own way of showing the American story and bringing it to light. And although it has expanded from where it began when I started, everything in life always expands from the place you start from if you're doing it right. That's
growth, because we are growing.
Yeah, because I started before the pandemic, and the pandemic will happen, and I will start getting guests from outside of America anyway. So, but immigrant story is not limited to only people in the United States or only New York. Like I started, I planned at the beginning to only have immigrants in New York because New York is a big market and a big space. So that was the original plan. They'll come sit down with me in the studio, and then I started getting guests from around the country and from outside of the country. Do I say no just because? No. But when the pandemic happened, I couldn't be in the studio too. So fate kind of arranged certain things for me. So, but I wasn't going to change the name from White Label American just because I like it. And everybody's always like, wow. And then if you don't like the name and you're like, oh, it makes me feel like you don't like white people, well, then that means my podcast is not for you. Bye-bye. But still donate money before you leave, though, and buy merch.
I was like, when I first heard the podcast name, I was like, but he's a Black Nigerian and his podcast is called White Label America. Like, what the fuck is this? But then again, and then I actually talked to you. I was like, it makes sense why I would have a podcast called White Label America. So you being an immigrant, when was it important for you to share these immigrant stories on your platform? Like, why were you looking for something? Were you missing something, or were you trying to show America something, or like why was sharing immigrant stories?
I think it's a combination of all. Right from my childhood, I've always been exploring, and my older brother had a whole bunch of encyclopedia in the house. I don't know which one. I can't recall which one, but it was like from A to letter Z. And
y'all were fancy.
Sometimes we were, sometimes we weren't. We still had power outages, and later on I will have to go fetch water, sometimes up to a mile. So it depends. To an extent we were, to an extent we weren't, because there was a middle class back then. So and we could afford housemates up to a point in life. But I was always reading. I was getting information about other places, other worlds, and you hear stuff from people who are older than you, people who are supposed to have more knowledge about the world. And when you are reading information at the time when there was no internet, at the time when there was no social media, you start taking this, absorbing this information and thinking that, this people here are this, people here are that. And then by chance you will meet one person and you'll be like, wait a minute, I thought you all are this. Or as a big soccer fan and I'm watching uh, um, one of the international tournaments and I'll see a name on a player's jersey and that name, like a Japanese name, but it looks like exactly the same spelling as a name from the ancient Benin Kingdom. How's the name the same when but there's no explanation for something like that, and it's just like this. Everything is black and white, but it's not. A lot of things exist in a gray area, and from the information I was getting, a lot of it wasn't correct. Like one time, I still have this memory of one uncle who. Now I question if that man even left ever crossed Nigerian's border, but the guy will always have stories of, man, when I was in New York, I woke up, I brush our teeth with Napoleon brandy. Man, how does that make sense? But to a kid back then, you'd be like, wow, you mean in New York they brush their teeth with Napoleon brandy? That's so great. Yeah, your teeth was you have teeth in your mouth even after after 6 months. But he that dude has getting stories like that, and then the anti-black stories. There was the ones demeaning women and all this, but there was ones demeaning other countries. How Ghanaians are this, Indians are that. The legendary story of how India beat Nigeria at 100-0 goals. A lot of Nigerians believe that story. BBC has done an investigation. It never happened. It never happened. And then you find out one day that Ghanaians have the exact same story. When did this story begin? Nobody
I
knows.
saw your post about that.
Yeah. I've asked every Indian I brought on the podcast, I've asked them, and they're like, man, you're the first person telling me this. India they don't have a strong team. They've never had a strong team in soccer, but in Nigeria, there's a legendary tale that came out when nobody knows. Ghana has the exact same story. So all these things, you have to start. It's an artificial world that has been created at one point in time. It makes you think that people have never interacted, makes you think that people have just been on islands to each other. Meanwhile, we've been interacting for a long, long time through different things, most especially trade, be it from slavery, religion, all these things we've been interacting. Royalties, talk to royalties around the world, way before colonialism came into picture. And colonialism is also it's exists in the way we talk about it now is just seem to be like, oh, Europeans just came and created colonialism. Colonialism has existed even in Africa. We colonize each other, and all these things is something that with time I started looking at it like, man, how wait a minute. A lot of information I got as a kid was not correct or factual. I'm not saying correct, wasn't factual. So I was always interested when I meet people from other places and we start talking, and it's like, wait a minute, you guys do this? I do that too. And it's like heads start exploding. Like, wait a minute, you guys you eat it like this, you guys have this cultural reference. And so why wouldn't I start collecting stories? Why wouldn't I start looking for a way to show the world that, yeah, my picture of America growing up as a kid wasn't it didn't make sense. Now it doesn't make sense now for me to still be sticking to that picture. And when I try to show other people, like I've had one or two people write to me my childhood friends are like, oh man, I listen to what that thing where they do. I listen to it. So somebody from this country, they do things like where we do things. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I try and tell you that it's important for you to hold on. Some of those views that we are still holding on to, it don't really make sense. Just try and listen to other people and find out that it's maybe we can pause on some views that we hold on to and think is our culture. Well, is it really our culture? If maybe somebody told you that that's our culture, and then we just run with it like it's our culture, or is it convenient to call it our culture? So yeah, I think that's part of why I do what I do, because it just challenges everything that we hear and trying to stick
It
to.
challenges your
Yeah.
mind, and you get to unlearn. I think most of us, and it kind of goes also in when you're working on yourself, right? Or you
Mm-hmm.
have to work on yourself. Most people fear doing that because you end up unlearning shit you were told, because these are things we were told by our great grandparents. But even our parents these days, they're like, oh, you remember when I told you this? That's not actually true. I just came to realize that it doesn't work that way. So when you start hearing these stories and seeing what different stories of people in their different cultures, in their different you're like, oh shit, how come I was told your country was like this? So that's not true. No, no, that's not in our country. And you're like, fuck, I've been lied to all my life. So you're doing an amazing shit, showing the world, and you're actually also showing the world that we are more than what they see on TV, because they like showing these countries on the bad side, not the good side, only the nasty side. So hearing people their stories and their childhood and knowing how they actually grew up, or the different cultures they have. It's also like, people now will listen to your podcast and be like, man, I should go visit Ghana, or I should go visit North Korea, wherever the stories are coming from, because of the stories they just had from there.
Yeah, and I also look at it this way because there's a lot of representation and diversity on TV, and like for me personally, I'm not like I know like like when I interview Nigerians, there's this talk about we need to show a lot of the good things happening in Nigeria. And I'm like, yeah, but there's a lot of bad things happening in Nigeria. A lot, like plentiful. And it's part of the stories. I don't shy away from that, because the stories include the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we haven't even touched a lot of the bad. But there's some ways like I forgot what they call it. Is it like the ghetto tourism or something like that? There are people who enjoy that kind of thing, and for me, I try to look for a balance. And some people just want. I think some people have this feeling within them that you must always show good or the bright lights when it comes to my part of the world. And I'm like, okay, well, that's good for you, but for me, I'm like, every place has good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah, but America TV only shows Tanzanians' bad side. I've never
I don't
seen
I
them
don't
show.
agree with that. It depends on what TV you're watching. Because if you're watching
Tell me
Netflix,
tell me what nice shit you have seen. No, I'm talking about the news. I'm not talking about movies that I've created on Netflix or documentaries. I'm talking about the news when they report about the country. Tell me, when have you had Tanzania being reported in a good light?
if you listen to VOA Africa, which I do, yeah,
I'm not, again, you said VA Africa. That's already
no, VOA,
Africa.
that's Voice of America. It's
So
It's an American channel.
when have they said anything good about Tanzania?
Their job is to report everything happening, and if there's positive stuff,
No,
they report positive. But
you 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 you
you should
you're
remember,
missing the point. My
news
point is what.
headlines is it, because why I'm bringing this point up is people tend to, if there's a war happening in Tanzania, should they report it or should they not report it? Because when Tanzania's what's your current president, the woman, when she ascended power, she was the first woman to ascend the power in Tanzania. All of them reported that there was a woman as president. But if she does something like what is happening in Senegal right now, where the president just moved, the election is supposed to happen right now, technically putting a country that has never had destabilization in West Africa in big position to have a possibility of a coup happening, then everybody's reporting it. Then people say, oh, they're showing bad news about Senegal. I'm like, yeah, the man did it. Somebody there did it. They have to report. We leave all that out and say, oh, they only show the bad. But I'm like, when the good is happening, yeah, we don't hold the people responsible. We need to hold people responsible for their actions. There's that side of it too. But Tanzania, I remember when the woman, what's her name again? I've forgotten your president's name. I'm seeing her face.
Which I get, of course, that one they're gonna report. How many women presidents do we have?
We've only had 6 on the continent.
But if it was a normal other president, it wouldn't have been news. It was news because she was a woman, and we don't have those. So
Yeah.
of course they're gonna report that. But apart from that, we have incredible other amazing shit that goes on in Tanzania. They don't. But when it comes to our president checking COVID on the oil and shit, all the bullshit that they report, all the killings that they report, which I get. We do have bad things, but so does America, so does all these other countries. But you see other countries being promoted the beautiful side of it. I'm not saying don't talk about the bad. Of course, talk about the bad. My country has so much bullshit, yes, but it's also still a beautiful country with a
It
lot
is.
also to offer.
But
Exactly. So that's what my
but
point
to be
was.
honest, when it comes to news from Africa, Tanzania is still not no disrespect, but Nigeria is way ahead of grabbing headlines than because
Oh
Nigeria
yeah,
has got
of course.
headlines.
I mean, you
So
Nigerians, wherever you go,
we,
you
are,
grab
we love
headlines.
Nigeria, South Africa. Like if I have a problem with news reporting, it's like Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, Egypt, Ethiopia.
Tanzania, they don't even
They
know we
hog
exist
they
unless
hog the
it's
headline.
something.
Because sometimes I write to BBC Africa, I've written to VOA, like you guys need to report. Yes, 54 countries. Report on the 54 countries because a lot of stuff gets under the headlines. You have to go on the website to get the news happening from all the countries, which I understand if it's like a 30-minute program, they try to get the biggest headliners, the biggest, the ones that pull more weight, like more eyes on, they want to get, because everything's about what they call it, ratings now, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's about, if we put Nigeria at the top, then more eyes will come over. Everybody knows Nigeria. If we put Seychelles, what is that? Where is that? Is that an African country? Why is it? Because if you have Africans, so like why Seychelles there? So and also to that too, people say they want good news, but at the same time, people don't respond to good news a lot positively. We also have to question that because when you put good news, it doesn't move as much as bad news. At the same time, you see more interaction with bad news. I'm not saying they shouldn't report good news, but I'm just saying if you go by the numbers thing, the ratings thing, we also see that. But you're right on that though. But I'm just saying.
I mean, you kind of did the same shit on your podcast, like for after Afros and Algiers for like 2-3 episodes. I was a villain on his show. Like for some reason, my name kept
How that make
coming
you a
up.
villain? I said you were my. It was the first time I've met a nemesis, and it was a friendly nemesis, but it was different. Because I hadn't met somebody who could match my energy, like
No, you mean exceed it? Because if I
Well,
recall
technically,
properly, I
you
shut you. I shut you up for a minute there.
oh
Even
Lord, here
even
we go.
people were
Here
like,
we go. Here
"Is
we go.
Ralph quiet? Is Ralph? Does Ralph not have a
No,
comeback?"
no,
I did that. I think Afros and Algiers needs to give me an award this year when I go that the person who was able to shut Ralph up, like
that
literally.
look.
Talib, and Corey. I'm just saying an award that I shut Raphael up. It's Afros and Algiers. Thank you
Look,
very much.
that was 2023. We're in 2024 now. All right. The
Mm.
countermeasures have been deployed. The
Mm-hmm.
system has been upgraded because the system hadn't met you then. So it had to take 5 minutes to calibrate, to build the antivirus, to cover all the, it wasn't used to, like, the missile system had not upgraded. I had to order one from which country will I order it from? I won't tell the country, I won't tell you where it was coming from. But anyway,
it don't matter. I'm gonna get my award either way, even if I have to make
well,
one
yeah,
for myself
I'll
and
order you
order
an award.
it.
I still have my people in the Middle East who used to make awards for my command. Drink water, please. Drink water. It's okay.
So, how long have you been podcasting with White Label America?
Since October 2019.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive. So, out of all the stories you've had, right,
Mm-hmm.
in your podcast, out of all the guests, which one was the most shocking one that was like, what the fuck, dang?
Damn, woman, you gonna ask me that question?
Uh,
That's I've had quite a few. I've had quite a few. Let me see. I don't have anything written in front of me right now, so I'm I've crossed, once you've crossed 40, the database sometimes be bouncing up and down.
Just say because you do a lot of this. That's why.
Nine. I'm a sober guy. It's only palm wine. If it's fresh palm wine, then it's different. But
Do you make fresh palm wine, or where do you get fresh palm wine?
What you know about palm wine? You don't know. You're too young to know palm wine. You
I
guys
I
have
I,
palm wine in Tanzania?
I lived in Malaysia with Nigerians.
So they got palm wine in Malaysia.
Oh
They ain't
yeah,
got no palm wine there.
they do.
Where they get palm wine in Malaysia?
I don't know. Where do you Nigerian people get all your shit? Y'all are
They don't
sneaky
have
as
palm
fuck.
wine in Malaysia. They what? They get it. That is adulterated palm wine. You have to come to the villages in the Niger Delta and get it fresh. You get it fresh from the tree. Okay. I ain't even telling you no more secrets. But anyway, let's stay on track. So, let me see. I think I might. Okay, I'll give it two. I'll give it two. So, when Mariano, the episode of Mariano Charles, he's moved back to Argentina. He moved to New York right as the pandemic, right after as we went into lockdown. So when he arrived in New York, it was literally, no crowds. It was like no people, nobody on the streets. So I guess he was like one of the last people that was allowed into New York City, and that was like his first time in New York City.
Oh
So
wow.
that experience, it's rare to meet somebody like that, because everybody who's been to New York is like, New York crowds, people like, if you meet locals, like a lot of people get overwhelmed when you visit New York, like, man, the crowds so much. That guy got a whole experience of New York that's like, nobody, it's rare to meet somebody like that. People can rarely match that experience because he got to see Ghost Town, New York. And that's how I even became my friend because, when we started letting people, mingle, and I also run some volunteer groups in the neighborhood. One is for fathers raising kids without fathers, and another one is a soccer group for dads. And he came to the soccer group and he was like, can I play with you guys? I don't have any friend. I moved here just as lockdown happened. So I don't know anybody. And he's running crazy because his wife has been living, his wife was already in New York. She's also an immigrant from Germany, but he didn't know a single person. And then you arrive here, there's nobody. And it's just, it's locked down. So you can't even go out and mingle, start trying to make friends. He's from Argentina. He was like going crazy. And when he finally came on the podcast and he's sharing his story, I knew he had been previously married before, and then he now tells that now he's sharing the story of what happened to his first wife. She had taken her life,
Oh
but
damn.
the whole thing that led to her taking her life was there's a whole accident, how she lost her brother. But the day she died, he was in the house when she took her life. And I don't even stop the recording and ask her, hey man, you sure you want to talk about this? Like, now this was before I started doing video recording. Otherwise, the clip would have been out there. But I had to stop and ask him, like, hey man, although if in the content space that's like gold material.
You're like, I want this content, but I also
But
have to be
yeah, no.
empathetic
I have to
and
ask you first of all, where are you at right now? Are you sure you want to talk about this? And he's like, hell yeah, I want people to know. I don't know who will listen to this episode. I don't know where they are at. They might be where I was after I lost her, and how I was able to come back, and now I'm married, and now I'm a dad. Like, he back when he was married to his first wife, they didn't want children, and now he's a dad. Now actually they have two kids now. Their second kid was born after they moved to Buenos Aires. So it was, I think at that moment I knew that I'm not in this for like viral moments, because it would have been so easy for me to just cut that clip. I can still create like an audio clip and just throw it out there and yeah. But the fact that I was able to stop the recording right there and say, hey man, you sure you want to talk about this? Where are you at right now? And he was like, hell yeah, I'm good. I want people to hear this. I came here to share this story, and I want to share the story. That's all right. Well, we can continue. I know you're in a good place now. It's not something that you're just going to run your mouth and then maybe 1 month later or 1 year later, you're going to call me and be like, no, 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 take it off, take it off, take it off, that kind of thing. So um, it was a shock to me to hear that part of the story, but it was a good shock. I'll put it that way. And the second one is someone who, one of the few people who knew me as a teenager. We're both in the same school. He's a lecturer now in another African country. And it, I asked him, when he got to that country, what was his first surprise? And you might know the country when I say what his answer is. So he said, when I got there, they have this festival where girls become women, and I was surprised. The girls were naked except for they cover their loins. How can these people are not African? What kind of African people are these? Africans don't do this. And I was like, okay, I hear you.
It's safe to say Tanzanians have stopped doing that ceremony.
So I was like, I hear you, but you're from the western part of Nigeria. You're from one of the biggest tribes in Nigeria, the big three. Have you been to my part of Nigeria? That was the question I asked him. He said no. I said, okay, so let me share a story that happened, something that happened to me in 2004. I was in a city. I was doing a job, to set up canopies, chairs, tables for events. They will hire us. So they hired me outside of Port Harcourt. I had to go to a nearby city, but still my tribal people are there. And that was the first time I went to this city. And we were done before 6 p.m. So we got a few minutes to relax before heading back to the city. And a town crier is ringing the bell. I'm like, well, what's happening? Is there some fight or something about to go down? Because it was around the time when some of what's happening in Nigeria today was just beginning to happen in the oil producing areas where I'm from. And I see a young woman walking behind, a few feet behind the town crier, and she's topless. She only has a skirt. And it was a majestic walk. I'd never seen something like that before, but she was majestically just strolling behind the guy, and he's just announcing. And the loose translation is, take one last look at this, let me say, goddess. You can't look at her. After today, she belongs to somebody. So it means she's getting married.
So wait. So when you're getting married, they parade you with your titties out for people to look at you.
Let me. I have to finish it. So he's saying it in pidgin English, right? And a mixture of pidgin English and our language, but it's not like it's a loose expression. It's a comedic way he's saying it, and she's just like catwalking. She's just happy, and people like cheering her on. And for me, coming from an outside, I'm like, what the hell going on here? I'm shocked now. And I'm beginning to sound like this guy who's my guest right now on the podcast. That's how I sounded like in 2004. And I'm like, what, how dare you people do this? What is this? What is this? And I'm yelling. And people start laughing at me. And they're like, oh, where are you from, man? I said, I'm from my tribe, and I'm an Ijaw. Like, yeah, which Ijaw are you? And I said, I'm from the next door state. They're like, oh, yeah, you guys stopped doing this long time ago. You guys stopped, but we still do it. Yeah, I'm saying, nah, we never did this. We never did it. We're Christians. We don't do this kind of stuff. They're like, yeah, before we're Christians, we had culture, we had traditions. Yeah, this is one of them. And I'm like, oh, no. We're Christians. We don't do this kind of things. Our women cover up. And yeah, so that was something I wouldn't even think about until 2021. I'm interviewing this guy on my podcast. And that's just when he's now bashing another African country. People in an African country, he's trying to tear them down. I'm like, that in your own country,
that's the shit.
There's another people who have this culture, and he's like, what? You mean? I'm like, yes, because you haven't even been there. You don't even know other people in your own country. So who are you to say people are Africans? They are un-African, because that's the word he used. He said they are un-African, and
An
he was trying to
African.
un-African, and he was trying to say because he's a Christian, and I was like, you see, you can't say somebody is not African because you worship this God, or you have this religion, or you believe in this. You hear me? You didn't even know what's happening in your own backyard. You don't
And
even know what's happening in your own land. And if I didn't know that experience I went through in 2004 will come in handy in the future. But now
in
I just,
in defending another African country.
so imagine, me now, there's a way I could have pretended that never happened, but I'm glad that it happened. I learned from the correction that my own tribe has something like that, even though it's not my direct tribe, it's my cousins from another state. But
Look at you denying your tribe now.
nah, I'm not. We also have something similar to people in Mauritania, where I know not all of us do it, but I know it's called fattening room, where if a woman is getting married like 2 weeks, they pump the woman up, put the woman up in the room for 2 weeks. So I know everybody does it, but yeah, somewhere like you go come out, they're gonna be like, God damn, Paula, what happened?
Wait, out of curiosity, right? Because you're
Yeah.
not married to an African woman, so these things might be a little bit. These traditions are because if you're African and you're from there, it's supposed to happen, right?
It doesn't
But
happen to everybody, but
I know, but sometimes depending with your family members, in Africa, the family members hold more say when it comes to your wedding or anything than the actual person who's. They always try to interject, and there's some families that they allow the family members to take over. So, do you think if you had brought your wife like her back home to
uh,
would she have agreed to be paraded like that?
I'll say no, not, but hear
And
me
how
out.
and how would you wait? And how
No,
would you have felt as a husband? Because I don't know how a man feels like, oh, all these people are looking at like she's about to be mine, and now she's coming to me, but everybody has seen her goodies.
no. Well, I can't speak for other men, but
I'm asking you.
no. Hear me out. There are certain things that happen to me. I call them part of the unwiring of my programming. So before I even left Nigeria, I'd discovered certain ways families treat certain people. So, be it the issue with LGBTQ, no matter how Nigerians come online and act like we are 100% against it, I already began to see the hypocrisy. So, I'd seen a family member who was into the 419, the Yahoo sending of the emails, the Nigerian Prince thing. I knew a family member who that's how he made his money. And when he came from Lagos to come visit in Port Harcourt, and I'd heard our family members talk about people who make their money from that kind of, make their money from that venture. And this guy showed up. And when he showed up, he's throwing money at everybody. Hey, you go Christmas time, you buy this for yourself. And I started watching all the church members. Hey, praise God. Man, I started realizing that it don't matter what traditions or culture the family has. No matter what it depends. Once the individual has a certain level of money, they will tolerate you. So someone like me, the moment I joined the Navy, the first time I went home, it didn't matter what. If I said I was gay, yeah, but praise, well, I don't support you sleeping with a man, but you, U.S. Navy, salute, sir. They'll just be saluting me. There are people who they'll whisper it in my back, of course, but in front of me, everybody will just be like,
Yeah, the king.
Yeah, he gave me $20. So I gave me $50. Give me $100. Ha! Correct guy. And the moment I saw that before I left Nigeria, it changed. You're going to come tell me later on that, oh, my wife has to come go through this tradition. You have to force my wife, because I started noticing that because even when I was 10 years old, no, 10 or between 10 and 12, There was a funeral that I attended in the richest family member's house. The person was a major general back then. He's late now. And that was the first time I saw a woman smoking. This was early 90s. Women weren't supposed to smoke. The picture then was like, women don't smoke. So I saw a woman smoking openly and people were just walking around. I was like, whoa, what's happening? And I tried to tell one of my uncle, and shut up, get out of here, and push me, get out of here, mind your business. I was like, what? That woman was high up the food chain. You can't go talk to her. No, but when a poor woman is, you don't have no money, you light a cigarette, man, they're gonna chase you. Get out of here. So when the kid starts noticing these little things and you start picking, man, that kid was gonna turn into somebody considered a bad boy in the future. Maybe he'll lose his head. Maybe that's why I started losing my head. So the beneficiary is my wife and kids. So you can't come force them to do something that I don't like, they don't like. But first of all, they don't like. If they say they don't like it, then I'm not gonna be like, they don't like it. So yeah, get out of here.
But I like that you stand on that, because I know that's one thing some of Africans we have. Like, we notice, we see, but we still also allow ourselves to be dragged into it instead of standing tall on it. Like, fuck now, you can't do that to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and it all goes to mindset. I think we all need to switch our mindset and start really unlearning and being open to open-minded to all this other stuff. Otherwise, we get dragged in shit that our ancestors forced on people. Anyways, we are coming to an end of this. Thank you for talking shit with me. But who are you rooting for in the African World Cup? Afro what? Afrocon?
AFCON. God, I know this woman ain't African. Can't even pronounce it. AFCON. Very easy. Even now,
rooting for?
My Instagram caption gets it right when I say it. It was calling it Afghan when I said it in the beginning, but now it gets it right. But yeah, so for me, it's a simple rule. Any team coached by an African or indigenous coach gets to win African Cup of Nations. So a lot of Nigerians going to be crying on Sunday. They're going to be crying sad tears. But if you don't want to cry, it's very simple. Go to my page, hit the donate button. Dollars, euros, pounds, British pounds, sterling. If you donate Naira, your tears is going to be multiplying by 5.
Wait, so, is Sunday the last game?
Yes, the third place match is on Saturday.
Who's playing on Saturday?
South Africa and Congo, the two losers from the semifinals. But they have good music, so the dancing, there's a lot of dancing in that.
And the winner is gonna play with who on Sunday?
The Sunday is between Cote d'Ivoire and Nigeria.
Oh shit!
Good music too.
Oh, Cote d'Ivoire. I'm rooting for Cote d'Ivoire. No offense, Nigerian.
There you go. I told you she's me and her, we're on the same wavelength. So you just saw a proof of that now.
I don't know about that. I just I have a lot.
I already predicted who was going to win, and then you literally repeated me. So
I didn't know who was playing. But
it don't matter. The spirit led you. I said Nigerians are going to cry on Saturday. It's sad tears. They'll be filling buckets full of tears.
At least you guys made it to the finale. At least you guys made it to the finale. Where did
have you met Nigerians? Do they look like happy losers?
It is okay. They'll be fine.
They will be prepared. You're gonna see fire and brimstone.
They're always losing with your president and shit. So they'll be fine.
They're gonna come for you. If you guys they're gonna come for you.
Where did Take for Star end up? I'm curious.
They got knocked out in the group stage. Your coach talked too much and got suspended for 8 matches. He should have kept quiet. I don't know why that guy talked too much. But I like Tanzania, though. They like hiring Africans. A lot of teams used to do that. Hire an African from another country and pay him good instead of go and collect these rejected Europeans. Come and coach a team. But I'm available though. If you guys want to hire me, I'll accept dollars.
Thank you so much, Ralph, for hanging out with me on Shit Happens. Please let the people know about where to find your podcast, where to find your shit, how to connect with you, what you got going on. This is the time to sell yourself and send them to your patrons so they can give you their dollars. Okay.
Yes. I love dollars. We accept uh, euros, British pound sterling. We accept gold too, like that senator in New Jersey. Gold bars. Don't give me Nazi gold, but just real gold bars, like Saudi Arabian gold. It's legal. So you can find me on go to whitelabelamerican.com, or you can get our app at the Google Play Store, and you can see the mug that Paula is showing you. You can if you go to White Label American / merch, you get our merch. You can get t-shirts, mugs, and caps and other goodies that we can add. If you don't see any merch that you like, leave a message there. Desi, our guy, will get you any merch. The app is on the Google Play App Store. Patreon, we're on Patreon. Just type White Label American. If you like African football, go to Afrigo Podcast on YouTube. It's a brand new YouTube channel that I just started for the AFCON. But we'll add more stuff about African football down the line. Maybe one day Paula will come and talk just what will make her watch African football. Don't worry, not today, but we'll get you one day on African football. And if you want me on your show anytime, bring me on. I'm going to start watching 90 Day Fiance and some more awesome stuff, because I have real life 90 Day Fiance people that I know. And I've been watching Naked Attraction right now. It's my favorite dating show, but I'm going to improve on more dating shows this year. And,
wait, Naked Attraction is the one where they judge while they're naked?
Yeah, awesome dating show.
I love it where the doors open and people are fully naked and they judge, they eliminated. I started watching that. Oh my God, that show. I need to have an episode with you on that. I want to hear your views.
We will have a round table on that. 100%. Yeah.
We all be naked or clothed.
My wife won't approve me to be naked. I mean, and I'm also not, I'm still down to get a sugar mama, but I have to sign some legal papers first for my wife to allow me. And I know there's one Ghanaian who might be watching right now. He's gonna be like, yes, don't let the sugar mamas get in yet. So yeah, I have one or two Ghanaian haters on. He's not a hater, but he's a good hater. Put it that way. He laughs at me too much. But that would be an awesome idea, though.
Yeah, I feel like for that one we need a round table. But I get your emails of the Saturday mornings to come to your football. Even Sambaza was like, I didn't see it. I'm like, y'all want me to come and embarrass myself there? I'm not even watching. I don't know what the fuck is going on. He's like, no, you should still come. It's fun. I should still come so that I sit there, and then when you ask me a question, I'm like, huh?
We'll walk you through. Don't worry. We'll do something for before and after the final. And also, hold on. There's a Zambian show that I'm actually going to be a guest on Saturday. Let me Instagram show me big butts. I don't want to see big butts on Instagram right now. That was let me pronounce the show correctly before I go and mess up the title of their show. Some Zambians were nice enough to have me on their show, and it's nice to connect with other Africans.
Yes, it is.
But I always pronounce their show wrongly, so I have to see it in front of me. There it is. It's the Insaka Talk Show. So they'll have me live on Saturday to talk about the AFCON and African football in general. So yeah.
Nice.
I try to connect. And now, if you're in Brooklyn, well, if you're in New York, the Black Podcasters Association will be having an event on the 27th we're having a mixer for the Black Podcasters Association. Let me see. For
the Black History Month. I saw that. When is that? I think it's on 20-something, 27, or is it 27?
It's Thursday. Oh, yeah, it's the 29th. So, the Black Podcast Association's second anniversary party. Come through, get your tickets at the Black Podcasters Association website. If you're a member of the Black Podcasters Association, it's free for you. So, Yeah, but still get your ticket. So we don't want you to just show up at the door and say I'm a member. Don't do that, please. We're in 2024, so we don't have to throw you away. So just get your ticket.
And it helps with the count. There's also for those outfits and outrages is in October, right?
October, yeah. Hopefully I'll see you there. You bring
Definitely
2 Tanzanians with you so that you can't trick me like the last time.
I'm coming for you. Well, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Those who have been watching, because I saw a few people watching live. For those who are going to watch the replay, thank you for watching. This is Shit Happens, where shit happens. And I was hanging out with Ralph of White Label America. Make sure you go check out his podcast and go support his Patreon. And for those who are in New York, check out Black Podcasting Association. They're having a mix there on the 29th. And if you're in Atlanta, I'm hosting the podcast Atlanta meetup on the 29th as well in February here in Atlanta. So go spread some love, y'all.